GM everyone, my name is Watchgori Kaja. I am here to talk about my project IoTrade. IoTrade is a decentralized IoT data marketplace that turns IoT device into income generating assets. And today, sensor owners today produce valuable reward data, but most of it is wasted. So IoTrade solves that problem by capturing that value, using the Swiss stack, and enabling it to be easily monetized. The problem is something that has been acknowledged by researchers all around. Um, in a research paper published in 2019 by UNSW and CSIRO, they acknowledged that centralized data systems don't just work because they are centralized IoT data systems and IoT data market don't just work. They produce single points of failure, making them unreliable and not easy to use. Also, industry experts agree that 90% of the IoT data is never monetized. And so, yes, there's a need for a decentralized solution to this problem. Take, for example, um, uh, Sarah, let's say she lives in Austin, Texas. She has a professional weather station, probably powered by an ESP32 device. The data that she produces there is valuable to delivery apps, farms, solar installers, probably an estimated value of $500, but she's not able to earn anything from it because there's no access to secure open IoT data marketplaces. So this problem that is our hypothetical example Sarah is facing is not just secret to her alone, it's a general problem in the market. So our solution solves this by leveraging the Swiss stack. What we build is a decentralized P2P data trading marketplace. Here, 95% of the revenue goes to the device owners, and we use Walrus for storage. So we use Walrus storage to store the data streams or data feeds, and use Seal to be able to decrypt them and encrypt them in real time. So we also have real time streaming. So um, subscribers to these data feeds can be able to see them in real time. Let's see how it works. So this is my landing page. This is my landing page. Has a few data feeds here. Um, but to create a data feed, you have to go to the provider dashboard. So once you're able to go to the provider dashboard, you'll be greeted with the form to create a data feed. So you have to put in the location, the category, the update frequency, the price request feature is something we would love to implement for X402 agents. You have to put in some initial data. Then I can choose to select if my feed is encrypted or if it's a premium feed that will be encrypted with seal. So basically, many feeds will be encrypted with seal to prevent them from being for sensitive data. So I have to click create feed. So I'll be prompted to create a feed. Then the next transaction I will sign will be to encrypt the data feed I've just created. So what happens here is that it creates the data feed, uploads it to Walrus, and encrypts it. So I've successfully created a data feed. So I will have to subscribe to this as a subscriber. So to subscribe to this as a subscriber, I will need to go to the marketplace. So this is the feed I just created now. This one, and I can subscribe to it here. So subscriptions are owned objects, so I can just see them in my subscriptions tab. So boom, the feed I just subscribed to is right here. So to be able to manage it or to update the data feed as a provider, I have an API key or a REST API where I can use to update this feed. And also to be able to read it as a subscriber, I also have an API key to be able to do that. So as a subscriber, I can create my API key um, to be able to manage this feed. So let's say I create this API key. So now to create this API key, I can use this API key now and this endpoint, the endpoint to be able to access the data that I want to access. So let me show you how the provider will be able to also create his own API key to be able to update the data feed in real time. So it's basically the same thing. Um, so you have to be able to, so you can also create an API key here, and it has the provider also has an endpoint to be able to update his data feed also. So I'd like to show a simulation of how this is done. I have a Walkly simulation. In production, this will work on a real ESP32 device, but this for just demo 6. Um, so I already have a feed ID and an API key I've created, so I can just run simulation. It will automatically update the feed ID. Then, as a subscriber, I can also subscribe to it. So what happens here is that it updates this, it publishes this feed ID to Walrus, encrypts it, and then as a subscriber, I can be able to decrypt it on my own end using my API key. So what I just have to do, this example, I'm trying to connect to it via WebSocket for live data streams. So on connection, I can be able to view the data in real time. So um, the data will update automatically there. As you can see, I just got a new uh, uh, I have a data feed I just got recently. So yeah, here is the data feed I just got recently. The same data feed that was done, decrypted on my end easily and seamlessly. This is an example of how real-time streaming works on IoTrade. So about the market proposition of this, the IoT data market is expected to reach 143 billion by 2030. And IoT data has so many use cases, whether traffic, smart home data. This data is useful. AI agents can be able to plug into this data to be able to make decisions, unlocking the A402 era. And the advantage we have is that we are building on SWI and Walrus. The importance IoT data is as useful as the time it's being streamed. So if it's not real time, there's just no need for the data. So that's why we needed to build it on infrastructure that supports high throughput, just like SWI. That is the advantage we have in IoTrade. Thank you. That's my project I'm building for um, the Walrus Hackathon.